Hey guys, it's your girl Dawn Baby. I'm back with another reaction video. It's about a title. I'm reacting to the story of Brooklyn Drill. Get right to this.
We're here to announce a significant takedown of two gangs that operate in the northern part of Brooklyn. The two street gangs that I'm referring to in this case are called Wu and Cho.
Wu King, folks, Red King, Shot King, All Black King, we invented all that.
Let me turn this down, cause let me turn this down, cause
We believe that
you know what I'm saying. When you live in Brooklyn or just New York, period, you don't play certain things. You don't listen to certain. No, I'm sorry.
gangs have been the source of
I'm like, what? I don't know.
violence.
I never heard. No. Some people take it serious.
In parts
Some
of
people don't.
Brooklyn
Some
North.
people don't be caring.
I mean, that from that true
19-year-old Jeffrey Alexander allegedly shot at 30-year-old Ladarian Tyrell Phillips of Homestead.
Nick Blixey was discovered with gunshot wounds on Winthrop Street in Prospect Lefferts Garden.
Police say 20-year-old Bashar Jackson, who went by Pop Smoke, was gunned down with several suspects looking to rob him.
In 2019, Brooklyn Drill took the world by storm when Pop Smoke hit the mainstream with songs like Welcome to the Party and Dior. But the
Well, he made it popular again, but I feel like Brooklyn Drill started in 2016. Yeah, that's when Bobby came out. Or before that? I think it's before that. Yeah.
movement had roots
But he
reaching
made it
back as
popular
far as
again.
2014.
Yeah.
It was the soundtrack to a huge
14.
war in the borough and had an extremely active scene. Countless songs were traded back and forth, bodies dropped, and cases were caught. Fans watched intensely and big
he
YouTube
know.
channels
Hold on.
covered
He's
and
showing a
reported
lot of
on
them.
all the details. Big artists emerged and grew to be more than drill rappers, and the movement as a whole single-handedly put the city of New York, the birthplace and former mecca of hip-hop, back on the map in terms of relevance in the genre. So in this video, we'll take a look at the rise of Brooklyn Drill. Hip-hop started in New York, and the city was the center of the rap world through the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But in the early 2000s, their hold on the genre began to slip. 50 Cent was the last big New York rapper to touch the top of the rap game, and after him, the South took over. Through the late 2000s, New York was extremely quiet. Then around 2011, A$AP Rocky blew up, and New York had a star again. The city as a whole still wasn't really
But wait,
affected by the
Nicki?
new era of hip-hop.
Nicki?
But over in Brooklyn in
Don't forget about
2012,
Nicki.
Joey Badass dropped 1999 and blew up in the underground.
but Joey
Groups like Pro
Badass.
Era, Flatbush Zombies, and Underachievers were creating a scene and establishing a new lyrical 90s influence sound,
Yeah, they had a different
combined with
wave.
elements of the late 2000s and early 10s rap music. And this was what Brooklyn was known for to most hip-hop heads around the time.
That's why I be
But
saying,
there was
bro,
a darker, more violent side to the borough.
Well, yeah, he is right, but Brooklyn music or New York music is not known for drill music, bro. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's a Chicago thing. But that started, you know what I'm saying, but we was never known for that. Like, that's why I
In the
don't want
90s.
New York to be known for drill music, bro. Like, there's so much music. We shouldn't be known for just drill music.
Brooklyn had been a melting pot for various gangs across the country, and by the early 10s was the home to various Blood, Crip, and Gangsta Disciple factions, many of whom had bloody conflicts going on with one another. One of these Crip sets was called GS9, and in 2014, a GS9 member called Bobby Shmurda dropped a song called Hanukkah, and the song blew up to become one of the biggest songs of the
Bro,
decade.
I'll never forget.
Suddenly, Bobby Shmurda was a mainstream.
Before this even blew up or everything, bro, it was like Summer Jam was around the corner, and I was like, bro, this song is about to be Summer Anthem, and then boom, it became Summer Anthem because like you hear it playing from people's cars, but you don't really like hear it on the radio. You don't hear people talking about it. And then, I don't know, it was like after Summer Jam, like I went to Summer Jam, I heard Bobby Shmurda coming from everybody's car. I'm like, yeah, this song is about to be the anthem. Became the anthem, then, you know, they got locked up, but
in the streets of
that was the
Brooklyn had a
anthem.
voice. Some consider Bobby Shmurda to be the creator of Brooklyn drill, and some don't. There's an ongoing debate about what classifies as Brooklyn drill. Many believe that the music Bobby made wasn't Brooklyn drill, and therefore he wasn't the creator. There's a good argument for this because although he rapped about drill topics, the production of his music wasn't drill.
Yeah.
Bobby was mainly rapping on the underground late 2000s, early 10s,
but he started something.
Computers by Roddy
like he ain't started nothing.
Chicago drill beat, but that's just one song. Whether or not Bobby Shmurda and Roddy Rapper were drill artists, they were the first New York rappers to see big success making gangsta music in over a decade.
Yeah, it was like
eyes on this side of the city.
It gave us like a little bit of Chicago in it too. You know what I'm saying? But it was like different. They wasn't really talking about deads and smoking on. You know what I'm saying?
Unfortunately, their run was cut short when they caught their case. However, the city wasn't down for long because in 2015 a new crop of rappers had popped up, and this generation was rapping on Chicago drill beats.
See, this is what bro, I gotta like his video. I love when people like make videos like this and they know what they're talking about, they know who to add, because y'all forgetting about the Bambino, Curly Sav. What was with Curly Sav? What was his name? Rara. Y'all forgetting a lot. Like, y'all forgetting the era, bro. I really feel like they low-key started drill. Like, damn, was they talking about smoking this way? I don't know, but I feel like, bro, when they came out, gang, hold on, you ain't fucking my gang. Bro, this is Brooklyn. This is what the Brooklyn drill I remember, bro. This is the Brooklyn drill I remember. He did his research. Either he did his research or he from Brooklyn. Because when people mention Brooklyn, y'all be forgetting these people.
Spring celebration starts here.
I be forgetting them.
Dressed life
and then Big Ops. It was Big Ops. When they had everybody on that.
Bambino, Winnie Mills, Curly Sav, and Dada were all rappers
I said Dada.
Music around 2015. In November, they dropped a song called Gang Gang Gang, which some New Yorkers credit with putting the New York drill scene on the map. The song was a big hit in the city and got their names buzzing and people anticipating what they would do next. This whole new wave was hosted on a single YouTube channel called Fantastic TV. This was the primary platform of the new emerging scene at the time, and would continue to post big
Who is he? Yo, he gotta get his credits. Who
drill
is this
songs
person?
here and there in the following years.
He knows.
In 2016, things continued to take off. Bambino, Curly Sav, and Dada were popping off the success of Gang 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 and dropping more songs that were seeing success in the city. In addition to Curly and Dada, another rapper from Canarsie called Ross Swish also joined the new drill movement and was collaborating with them as well as dropping.
You got Ross Swish, Ace Number 9, Els Tay. There's so much names in my head that can't come out, but it's, bro, Brooklyn had it all from every side of every neighborhood to Flatbush, Canarsie, East New York, Brownsville, Crowns Heights, Bed-Stuy, bro, oh my god,
big songs of its own.
Them times,
up until this point, the trend had been set of rapping on Chicago drill beats, and the scene had been created. But similar to Chicago in 2010, the city didn't have their own unified sound. But this was about to change. Ironically, their unique sound wouldn't really be unique at all, only to Americans. UK drill had been a thing since 2013, and groups like 6-7, 150, and the Section Boys had helped to popularize it. In the beginning of UK drill, the sound was heavily inspired by a producer from Chicago called DJ L, who made his name producing the majority of drill.
I can't get into UK drill. I don't know.
From the beginning of drill, DJ L beats had an unorthodox rhythm that L had created using snares in a pattern nobody else was doing to create bounce. Producers from London took this bounce, and as the years progressed, they added their own unique style to it, swapping out 808s for bass, adding bass and 808 slides, as well as grind.
Okay, what's got to do with Brooklyn?
The snare that usually fell on the floor. For the 16-year-old UK lads who are about to go to the comments and tell me that I'm wrong and Chicago got the sound from the UK, here's what the DJ LD sounded like in 2012.
Them niggas from that game way of putting work.
Chicago really started, bro. Oh, don't try to give him to somebody else.
UK producers obviously did a lot to make the sound their own, and it came a long way from this all the way to Pop Smoke. But in 2016, the sound was still very similar to DJ L's original style. Around this time, many UK producers were releasing beats titled DJ L, Lil Herb type beat.
Okay, why are you
and this is
talking
how
about
New York
UK?
rappers ended up stumbling across the UK sound. The first instances of Brooklyn rappers on UK drill beats happened around early 2016. This was around the time 22G started his career, and his earliest song on YouTube, titled Blicky, was released on April 28th of 2016. It was produced by a UK producer called KI on the beat, and some would argue it was the first instance of a Brooklyn rapper rapping.
So many other. Oh, what the fuck? Bro, if you know, you know. That's what I'm saying. I'm not going names, but if you know.
Another early song featuring one of these types of beats was Village Part 2 by Bambino. As far as what Brooklyn and New York drill is known across the world as today, 2016 was basically the beginning. During the year, the sound was floating around the city, but it needed a push to become the sound of New York. The group most responsible for pushing it was the Blickies. Through 2016, they continued putting out music and growing the buzz. Then in October, they had a song called Up Next take off a little bit in the city, and this record was also on UK drill beat. By late 2016, they were on the verge of taking the entire Brooklyn drill scene over.
Oh, that's Suburban. And that's when Chef G came out with his.
Suburban, and it was an underground hit. The track blew up and turned 22G's into the hottest rapper in the Brooklyn drill movement. It also popularized the trend of Brooklyn rappers hopping on UK drill, DJ L type beats.
Okay, I thought everybody was listening to this.
The beat for Suburban was made by a producer called Axel Beats, who was only 15 years old at the time. Around this time, there were several big producers uploading DJ L, Lil Herb, UK drill style beats like Jamaica and KXT beats. But the success of Suburban would lead to basically every rapper in Brooklyn going to Axel for beats. Brooklyn drill was a good example of the power of YouTube and type beats, because it was the first time in history rappers in the city almost exclusively got their beats from outside the city. Going into 2017, Brooklyn drill started to heat up. 22G's and the Blickies were the first group to get popping, but they had a lot of enemies. 2017.
Well, yeah, I was laughing because like back then you could always tell when a certain person is like in a certain gang just by the way they dress. You could tell if somebody was Crip, somebody was a Blood, somebody was folk. You could just tell. It was just by the way they dressed, and the folks like it was like an all black thing, and then of course because they flagged black, but it was like I don't know, they just had their style. The Crips had their style. It was like you could just tell, like you could just see somebody. You never gotta ask. You could just tell. Like now it was like shit, everybody dressed the same. Like you can't even tell.
To reflect heavily in the music scene. The main focus of the Brooklyn drill movement was Wu versus Cho, and both of these gangs started in Brownsville. The Cho movement originated in Brownsville, originally starting as a gang called the Hood Stars that had beef with another Brownsville gang called Wave Gang. The Hood Stars grew into a conglomerate called Cho, containing mostly gangster disciples and a couple Crip sets, and Wave Gang grew into a conglomerate called Wu, containing a variety of Crip and Blood neighborhoods. Wu even ended up spreading outside of Brownsville to areas like Flatbush and Canarsie. The spread didn't happen immediately, and some hoods, such as Canarsie, aka Flossie, didn't turn Wu until 2017, which explains why in 2015 and 2016 there were collaborations between Curly Sav, Dada, and Bambino, even though Curly Sav and Dada are from the Flossie, which is now Wu, and Bambino is from Howard, which has been Cho the whole time. There are plenty of other gang conglomerates outside of Wu and Cho, like Structure and 2605, but Wu vs. Cho was the main focus of Brooklyn drill. Even in the Wu vs. Cho war, affiliations are confusing, and there might be gangs beefing with Wu gangs from Flossie, but not from Brownsville, or vice versa.
I was always
Despite
confusing.
these confusing associations, basically every Wu gang from Flatbush, Canarsie, and Brownsville, as well as Crips with no Wu association, had beef with the Blickies. The Blickies aren't a part of Cho, but they're allied with them because they're gangster disciples.
It was always confusing, bro. It was always freaking confusing. Gangs are confusing to me. I'm not gonna lie. Gangs are confusing to me. I be confused.
While the Blickies were at the forefront of the drill scene, they would occasionally diss their ops, and after 22G's blew, many rival Crip and Blood neighborhoods saw an opportunity to gain clout and attention from dissing the Blickies, as well as respond to shots already thrown at them. In January, former 6ix9ine associate Kuda B dropped a song called Blicky Funeral, Next,
Cool
in
Oh,
March,
Cool actually
Nick
just came
Costamato
out.
dropped an extremely disrespectful song called Folk in the Trunk, which he even shot in front of the Blickies' territory at Evans Field. And Leaf L's dropped an even bigger song called No Twirl Zone. Also,
Cool B definitely had a hit.
Who are also referred to as the twirl.
Yo, Ace number 9. Ace was my favorite. I think he's actually locked up right now. Ace was my favorite. Cool B had a hit though.
Cool
B actually had a hit.
Dropped a song called Blicky Funeral.
His hit was going viral.
Next, in March, Nick Costamato dropped an extremely disrespectful song called Folk in the Trunk, which he even shot in front of the Blickies' territory at Evans Field. And Leaf L's dropped an even bigger song called No Twirl Zone, also dissing the Blickies, who are also referred to as the Twirlers.
Yeah, jeez.
The Blickies have been in a lot of beefs throughout Brooklyn, but now dissing them was starting to get trendy. Even though people were starting to get attention dissing him and his gang, none of these rappers were doing the numbers 22 G's was doing at the time. Him and the Blickies had the most buzz in the city, and even had people like Zach TV traveling all the way from Chicago just to interview them. No other underground rappers in the city were as big as 22 G's,
like,
but this was about to change.
Damn, I forgot. Chef G.
Chef G was a member of the moving gang A-Tray Crips and Flatbush, a group who had a long-standing beef with the Blickies. He had sat back and watched Tutu and the Blickies blow up, and occasionally dissed his gang, and after a year, decided it was his turn. In May of 2017, he dropped an official response to 22 G's smash hit Suburban, and Chef's version was called No Suburban. When he dropped this, Chef was only a month into rap, still relatively unknown, and not fully committed to making music. But the song went crazy, reaching 1 million views in a matter of months. And it even went on to pass Suburban in views, and at the time of this video, it's sitting at around 13 million. Now the Blickies had an op who had gotten just as big as them, and to make matters even worse, a week after No Suburban dropped, 22 G's got locked up in Miami and charged for a body that his homie caught. So not only did their opposition blow up on the scene, they lost the face of their movement.
Hold up, I feel like his story ain't adding up, because I could have swore they blew up. What? How swear people was listening to Chef G's before? Damn. I don't know, maybe he got his information right. I don't know, it just feels...
Chef became the new hottest rapper on the scene, dropping songs like Disrespect, Haters Hurting, and Panic, continuing to diss the Blickies along the way. He shared his new clout with his friend Sleepy Hollow by featuring them at every chance he got, and together they were running Brooklyn Drill.
That's that duo.
While Tutu was gone, Nas and Nick Blicky did their best.
Hey, yes, the name is Nas.
But Tutu was the face of the movement, and without him, things were different.
I know, it's way more artists that he ain't named that I can't name right now, but like New York had way more artists, like that's in New York. Yeah. Brooklyn had way more artists than the Bronx around that time. But now it's like,
because buying our
I don't know what's going on.
directly benefits over 1,000 Land O'Lakes owners.
I ain't gonna lie, the Bronx got on lock right now, but it's slowly going away too. It's like they catching the heat that Brooklyn caught when everybody was getting arrested.
Fame, the new feminine fragrance by Paco Rabanne.
With the rise of Chef G and other ops of the Blickies, there were now two big sides and a complete drill scene had formed. The fans of the scene wanted someone from the city who knew what was going on to interview these rappers and ask the questions people wanted to know. Mel's TV ended up stepping up to the plate. He was like the Zach TV of Brooklyn. He interviewed basically all the rappers regardless of their side or affiliation, and he became the biggest media figure in the new Brooklyn drill movement. He had been the first to interview 22 G's after he blew up, and covered the situation while he was locked up. In November, 22 G's charges were dropped and he returned home to get back to the music. However, by this time, things had changed from late 2016 and early 2017. He found himself fighting for control of the movement with more and more enemies, some as big as him. But there were a couple rappers from the same side as 22 G's taking off as well. In October, PNBJ blew up off his song Twirling, and although he was from the Bronx and not an actual Blicky member, he ended up becoming one of the leaders of the GD and Cho movement on the music scene. In addition to PNBJ, a Blicky member named MV Kane, who had been rapping since 2016, also began to take off in 2017, and together these two, as well as 22 G's and the rest of the Blickies, were representing their side musically. But as time went on, more and more of their ops would continue to blow. In 2018, the back and forth disses continued and more people started to tune in. In March, JD, DSAP, and Fabio Foreign dropped Blicky in the Box, another hit produced by Axel Beats. and the song blew up to become a huge GDK anthem. JD got the most shine from the record, and the Ops also went at him the most. And 22G, Blixy, and PNVJ.
It's so crazy to think about. Like, we were listening to these songs, and I never put two and two together that was Fabio, like Big Drip Fabio. I don't know. I ain't put two and two together.
So by 2018, the movement was looking very similar to the early years of Chicago drill. But there
back when they was really wasn't
Brooklyn
dancing.
drill scene had dances. The Blickies had created
they really wasn't.
in 2017, and the dance Canarsie would popularize and brand as the Woo Walk came around in 2018.
Yeah.
And this was the origin of the dance later.
You see how easy this is? You see? Now, like, getting sturdy.
Referred to as getting sturdy. New York is full of West Indians, and it's in their culture to party, dance, and have fun. And you can see this in New York drill culture since the early days of the Shmurda dance and the Millie Rock. Through 2018, Chef G and 22G
so like
were
now
the drill rappers.
Like, yeah, we didn't really have that much dancing though, but I feel like now, like, they dancing and like there's a whole dance routine. Like, you see how these are like these are easy to do.
And you can see this in New York drill culture since the early days of the Shmurda dance and the Millie Rock. Through 2018, Chef G and 22Gs were the hottest drill rappers, but 22Gs ended up moving away from the drill sound he pioneered, still continuing to do numbers on tracks like It's That Trippin' Remix and Spin the Block. Chef G remained on the drill sound, and he and Sleepy Hollow were doing numbers on songs like Panic Part 2 and 3, Disrespect, and Play for the Members.
That was that
Eli
duo.
Frost was also seeing success as well on songs like Situations and Gorillas. 2018 was also the year Pop Smoke would start dropping music. His first ever song was actually a remix to one of Sleepy Hollow and Chef G's popular songs called Panic Part 3. The beat for this song was from a producer called 808 Mello, and Pop would almost exclusively work with him through the future.
I know, he's listening to a lot of artists.
Pop was a well-known Wu member from the Posse before he ever started rapping, and had people tuned in as soon as he started. A lot of
artists, bro, because they like I said, Big Ops was like also an anthem, bro. Like, we really had some anthems. Like, it was like, I ain't gonna be all. Brooklyn had so much artists. You can't. I feel like Brooklyn had like over 20 artists at the same time.
Similarly,
like,
to
everybody
2012
was
for Chicago, 2019 would be the year the world was introduced to Brooklyn drill.
Pop Smoke.
From 2016 to 2019, the UK sound had continued to evolve and
talking about the UK.
DJ L. And to those not familiar with its origins, it would seem completely new. Pop Smoke started the year strong and quickly built a buzz, dropping songs like Flexin' and Meet the Woo. Then in May, he dropped Welcome to the Party, a track produced by 808 Mello, and the song took off and went beyond the city and had people across the country listening to Pop Smoke's music.
Pop Smoke
dropped his
put us
debut
back on the
album,
map,
Meet
like,
the Woo, in July, and this continued his momentum because the album had a song called Dior that was even bigger than Welcome to the Party, and it went on to get millions of views and streams. By this point, it was undeniable that Pop Smoke was the king of New York. Alongside him, Fabio Foreign, another Wu artist, also found himself in the mainstream when his hit Big Drip took off in August. With Pop Smoke and Fabio Foreign being the biggest artists in Brooklyn, Wu was basically running the music in the city. Pop Smoke was helping out OG artists from his hood like Ross Swish and Curly Sav by doing songs and features with them, and Fabio Foreign did the same thing for artists from his hood like Fetty Luciano and Sosa Geek, who were already hot off their song.
And it's so crazy, like, we really have a lot of artists who's like, I don't know, they just never got to that level, like, of being like Pop Smoke, or I don't know.
And even outside of Wu, other Brooklyn artists were seeing their careers flourish. This same year, the world found out Luka Doncic had a twin from the trenches of Brownsville. Maxi Demon started to blow up with songs like Four Quarters, Speak on It, and World War III. He obviously didn't look like the typical drill rapper, and this caught the world by surprise and allowed him to go viral quickly. Another rapper from the same hood as Max, called Siggy Black, was also beginning to see motion and had several big records alongside Max. One of the biggest Brooklyn drill rappers to take off in 2019 was Busy Banks. Busy had been rapping for about a year, but in 2019 he dropped
like Brooklyn, we really had to, like, people try to sleep on Brooklyn drill and try to say Brooklyn music is trash, this, that, and third, bro, but like, before y'all, where y'all think it started? Like, it started in Brooklyn. We had all the artists. Like, unfortunately, some passed away, and some just never reached their potential.
Ready or not, and these songs ended up
taking off.
And even into 2020 and 2021,
like when you had them artists,
he stayed one of the most lit artists in the city.
Not to be rude, but all the Bronx had was A Boogie and Cardi B and like who else? Yeah, like A Boogie. Now y'all got all the artists, you know what I'm saying?
Had all the motion Brooklyn Drill was seeing.
Everybody had their time to shine.
This was basically the year Chef G and Sleepy Hollow stepped away from the sound. In May, Chef and Sleepy went in a new direction when they dropped a song called Flows on an instrumental they found on YouTube, originally titled as a J. Cole type beat. The song was very successful, and after this point, both of these artists would continue to diverge from the drill sound. They teamed up with a producer called Great John and pioneered their own sound that had some drill elements but was slower, more melodic and vibey, and completely different from the music they blew up off of in 2017.
That's what I love for artists.
2G's had already stepped away from the drill sound in 2018, and in 2019 he dropped his first ever project, The Blicky Tape, and didn't have a single drill beat on the entire project. So in 2019, Pop Smoke took Brooklyn Drill to the mainstream, and Fabio Foreign followed along with his own mainstream hit. 2G's, Chef G, and Sleepy Hollow stepped away from the scene, and new artists like Max the Demon, Siggy Black, and Busy Banks took off. 2020 looked like it had the potential to be another big year for Brooklyn Drill, but early in the year, the scene took the biggest loss possible. In February of 2020, Pop Smoke
it's crazy to think this was all
at an Airbnb in LA. Pop Smoke had begun his career in 2018 and first blown up in 2019. And in the short 9-month period between Welcome to the Party and his death, he had become the face of Brooklyn Drill. So him passing so early after he blew up would have been the equivalent of Chief Keef passing in January of 2013. Also, Pop Smoke would obviously hurt Brooklyn Drill.
You do not.
In the short term,
don't ever put that two together, okay? Do not. Do
after
not.
an artist loses their
do
life,
not.
The amount of coverage and publicity they
don't
get,
play like that. Don't do that.
Views, streams, and everything associated with them. This was the case with
I ain't gonna lie,
Smoke,
they really
and
took Pop
passing,
Smoke.
His fame took off at a crazier rate than ever before. The boost in attention on Pop Smoke translated to the entire Brooklyn drill scene for all artists involved to benefit off of it. In 2020, more and more YouTube channels started covering the Wu vs. Joe beef, and more fans who had never listened to Brooklyn Drill ever before were starting to tune in. One of the rappers to benefit from this new attention on the scene was actually one of Pop's rivals. Coach the Ghost was a rapper from Brownsville and one of the founding members of the Hood Stars, a gang that would eventually go into the Cho movement. He had been rapping since 2017 when he was released from prison, but he got his big break in April of 2020 when he dropped a song called Hit List, where he did basically all of his ops, including Fabio Foreign, Jay Guapo, Young Casamato, and JD. On the song, he had a line aimed at Jay Guapo where he said, "And if you get money, then why you condoning the same thing that got Pop Smoke?" And many people took this to be a diss aimed at Pop Smoke, which made the song even more viral. The song blew up, and he quickly became one of the leaders of the Cho side of the drill scene. Another Cho rapper from Brownsville called Freshie the General also began to get a name in 2020 off songs like Look and Ride. Together, he and Coach will hold down the Cho movement on the music scene. Over on the Wu side, Fabio Foreign continued doing his thing and getting new looks off bandwagons who missed their chance to work with Pop Smoke and wanted the next best option. He suddenly found himself doing big features with legends like Drake and Nas. In 2020, 2G's continued to put on for the Blick. 2G's hadn't really rapped on the Brooklyn drill sound since 2018, but in 2020 he decided to return and continue his role as the leader of the movement, continuing to drop big songs like Blicky Gang Freestyle and Fallen Blickies, as well as another project called Growth and Development.
Nah, I was really like thinking, bro, like we really had artists, though, like, and it's still artists he ain't named. Like we got so much artists.
Chef and Sleepy remain on their own wave, perfecting their new sounds, and weren't looking back. Towards late 2020, several artists from Pop Smoke's hood did their best to continue his legacy. In August, Dusty Locane dropped Rollin' and Controllin', and Quelly Wu dropped Back Out. Both of these...
I think people, I ain't gonna lie, it's like, they passed away, or they locked up. This is why I said, bro, drill scene, oh god, your drill scene do not last. They don't. They really don't.
Were from Canarsie and had unusually deep voices just like Pop Smoke. And Dusty even went as far as using the same slow flow Pop had popularized. All of these similarities caused Pop's fans to flock to their music quickly, and they blew up extremely fast. One of the biggest artists to come up in the post-Pop Smoke drill era was 26AR. He was a rapper from Crown Heights and began buzzing in late 2020 after dropping a song called Maneuver that ended up taking off.
Y'all not about to sit here and tell me he blew up in 2020.
Also began to go up as well. So in 2020, despite the loss of Pop Smoke,
he definitely was rapping before then, bro. Because they had like a whole. That's why I said Crown Heights, like they had their music scene too. Like he's missing a lot of people.
A lot of new artists took off. In 2021, things began to slow down. Most of the new rappers who were hot in 2020 began to see their numbers drop by the end of the year.
As I said, a lot of them they didn't reach their potential.
They began to turn their attention towards Bronx drill. But some of the more established rappers managed to stay afloat. 5 Foreign transitioned to the mainstream with a decent amount of success. Chef G and Sleepy Hollow had already diverged from drill and continued to maintain their relevance.
That's what I
love. Even though jail time would end up slowing down both of their careers.
Yeah, I don't love that part, but I love when they elevate
the Brooklyn drill sound and see his numbers decline like the newer drill artists, only at a slower rate. Overall, the Brooklyn drill movement gave New York a voice in hip-hop again to remind the world of its former glory, while at the same time shining a light on the sound of the UK and allowing them to be a part of mainstream US hip-hop for the first time ever. The movement produced a lot of talented artists and big hits and will be remembered for a while. Alright, that's it for the video.
I ain't gonna lie, this video low-key brought back mad memories. Like, make sure y'all like this video, bro, because if you're from New York, you know, like, he was mentioning some things, like, damn, low-key forgot about this. But if you got like this reaction, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on so you know I bring a new video, and I'll see you in the next video.